Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Cass High School and today's broadcast of the Cass Adairsville baseball game. Cass Baseball 2013 presented by Pepsi and by Liberty Tax Service on Play On Sports. We're glad you could join us today for this contest as the Colonels will be taking on the Adairsville Tigers. Adairsville coming in with a 4-2 mark on the season, and the Colonels in at 4-4 after evening their record on Friday night in a game over in Rockmart. So we're getting set for some baseball action today from Cass High School. We're glad you could join us for baseball presented by Pepsi, Colonels baseball presented by Pepsi. We're going to take a timeout, and we'll be back to talk about today's matchup right after these commercial timeouts.
Con los terroristas.
And do the Harlem Shake.
All right, we welcome you back to Cass High School, where today the Colonels are going to be taking on the Adairsville Tigers in some non-region varsity baseball action. The Colonels in at 4-4 on the year. They won their first three games of the year, defeating Armurchie by a score of 6-2, Sonoraville 5-1, and Class 6A Langston Hughes by a score of 6-2 to open the year. They then lost 4 straight, losing twice to Class 5A Woodland by a 9-4 and 4-2 score. They lost to Pepperell in that Woodland Military Day Classic by a score of 8-3, and then they lost to Class 6A Woodstock in 11 innings on a walk-off 3-run home run in the 11th inning by a score of 7-4. They did win last Friday night at Rockmart by a score of 12-3. To even their season record at 4-4 on the year. Colonels are out on the field taking a little pregame infield. The Colonels entered 2013 with 6 straight winning seasons, but their last 2 state playoff appearances were back in 2008 and 2007. They were 21-9 in 07, lost in the second round to Dunwoody, 19-9 in 2008, losing to Oconee County in the first round of the playoffs. They did tie for the final Region 7 Quad A playoff spot in both 2010 and 2011, but lost out on both of those, one in a 3-way tiebreaker and another in a head-to-head tiebreaker to not make the playoffs in each of those seasons, although they had winning records in all of those years, but just didn't quite qualify for that 4th and final playoff spot in a solid Region 7 Quad A from back in those years. Just about every one of those teams now has moved all the way up to the state's largest classification. A couple are in 5A. Cass is actually, I believe, the only one of those schools from that original region that is still in 7 Quad A. We're going to take another timeout. We'll talk a little bit about where Adairsville is on the year and a little bit about some of their recent history, and we'll talk a little bit about this series between the Colonels and the Tigers right after we come back from these commercial breaks.
Señor.
Attention, everyone. Our first toast.
No. I am so honored to say a few words about the lovely can. Huh? I mean the couple. She looks so delicious. Lean love. To many more years.
Do we know her?
No.
Diet Pepsi. Love every sip.
Charles Wilson back at Cass High School's athletic complex along with our cameraman Jordan Burge taking the shots today for us for this matchup between the Colonels and the Adairsville Tigers that will be coming up. Talk a little bit about Adairsville's year so far. They are 4-2 on the season. They won their first 4, but they've lost their last 2. They have wins over Maclay, Florida by a score of 4-2, Westover 12-5, Rockmart by a score of 9-8, and Armurchie by a score of 6-4. Their losses were to Class 5A Rome by a score of 3-2, and they lost a 9-8 contest to Rockmart, so they've actually split with Rockmart on the year. They have a game to make up with Model that did not show a makeup date on the web at this point. They have a contest coming up with Carrollton, and they start their region schedule next Monday when they play at home against the Cartersville Hurricanes, where both teams will be starting the Region 5 AAA schedule. Coach Eric Bishop's Tigers were 10-13 a year ago. They missed the playoffs. The year before that, they were 25-5 in 2011. They lost in the second round to Blessed Trinity on that year. The series between Adairsville and Cass in recent years, going back to as far as 2005, we were able to find that data. The Colonels won both games last year by 16-6 and 10-2 scores. The Colonels have won 4 of the last 5 meetings dating back to 2010, and Cass has also won 10 of the last 14 dating back to 2005. The Tigers are now making their way out on the field to take their pregame, and we'll take another break here and come back to talk a little bit more about tonight's game right after this timeout.
L is for the way you look at me. O is for the only one I see. V is very, very extraordinary. E is even more than anyone that you adore. And love was made for me and you.
Okay, welcome back to Cass Athletic Complex. Today's game, the Colonels taking on the Adairsville Tigers. We want to take just a moment now and take a look at how the Colonels will line up offensively. We'll look at both teams defensively here shortly. Leading off for the Colonels today, Brandon Etheridge will be out in center field. He's hitting .440 on the year and has scored 11 runs in just the first 8 games. Sam Ayers will hit in the 2 spot and play short. He's hitting at a .348 clip with 7 RBI. Chaz Wilson, through the first 8 games, is at a .640 batting average with 13 RBI. He'll hit in the 3 spot and play first base today. Dylan Williams will be on the hill. He's hitting .294 with 5 RBI. He'll hit in the cleanup spot. The catcher, Sam Russell, will bat 5th. He's hitting .280 on the young season with 5 RBI. Alex Yoslin will be out in left field. He has 3 doubles on the season. Hunter Southern will get the start today at second base. He scored 3 runs on the year. Noah Sims getting a start at third base today with a .333 on base percentage. And the sophomore outfielder, Chris Morton, will be out in right field. He's hitting .227 on the young season and has scored 6 runs for the Colonels. We'll switch our graphics over here and take a look at how Adairsville will line up defensively. And then we'll come back shortly and talk about their batting order. Here's how the Tigers will line up defensively today. Out in the outfield, across the outfield, Blaine Bishop, Washington in center, Hunter Smith over in right. Around the horn from third to first, they'll go Cody Melton, Tristan Smith, Kyle Adams at second, and Casey McCrory at first. Zach Sherwood will be giving the signals and working behind the dish, and Dylan Cochran will be on the bump today for Coach Eric Bishop's Adairsville Tigers. The Colonels defensively will look this way. Yoslin in left, Etheridge in center, Morton in right. Around the horn, Noah Sims at third base, Sam Ayers at short, Hunter Southern at second base. Chaz Wilson will play first. Sam Russell will be behind the plate, and Dylan Williams will be on the mound. We'll take another timeout, and we'll be back to take a look at Adairsville's batting order right after these.
Come on, kid. I'm Drew Brees.
And I'm Harry.
Who?
From One Direction. Platinum album.
Dudes, won the Super Bowl.
On the cover.
MVP.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
If you give him the Pepsi, you can be in the band.
Really? And live while we're young.
Okay, back at Cass High School, the Adairsville Tigers taking a few last rounds of infield before we'll have our home plate meeting and exchange of lineup cards and get started today. Adairsville out there taking their final warm-ups. We do want to quickly give you Adairsville's batting order. We've shown you how they'll line up defensively. Their batting order today, they'll go with the second baseman Adams, followed by Washington batting in the 2 spot. Sherwood, the catcher, will bat third. The shortstop, Smith, will hit cleanup. Cochran, the pitcher, will bat in the 5 spot. Melton, playing third, will hit 6th. Smith out in right field, bats 7th. McCrory, the first baseman, will hit 8th. And Bishop, the left fielder, will be hitting in the 9 spot. While we have time, we'll take a look at the Region 7 Quad A standings as they were last reported to Georgia Prep Country. You'll see the South sub-region that includes Cass. Of course, no one has started their sub-region games yet. That will begin next week when the Colonels play a 3-game series with the Gilmer Bobcats. But as of today, as reported on Georgia Prep Country, Pickens is still unbeaten at 4-0 on the year. Cedartown at 4-2. You see there Gilmer is 2-2 on the young season. The Colonels at 4-4, and River Ridge, who is at 1-5. But as I mentioned Friday night, don't let that record fool you. They are in a county with a lot of schools that are larger than River Ridge, and they've had to play all those schools. So they've been playing a lot of large schools in their early going and played some pretty good baseball according to the scores that are there. So that 1-5 record might be a little bit deceiving on the young season. In the north half of Region 7 Quad A, you see that Ridgeland is off to a 4-1 start. Northwest and Southeast Whitfields follow. Heritage of Catoosa County is at 2-3 on the young year. Lafayette at 2-3, and Dalton is off to a 1-4 start in the north half of Region 7 Quad A. While we're still waiting on the meeting at home plate, we'll remind you that you can place your ad with us here on these play-on telecasts for as little as $25 a month. Just give us a call there at the school. You can give me a call, Charles Wilson, at 770-606-5845, or send me an email at the address that's shown there, and we will be glad to get your business and your advertisement included in these play-on broadcasts of Cass baseball. And just a quick reminder, we plan to continue this programming into next school year with football in the fall and all the other fall sports, and even looking at the possibility of maybe doing a soccer game or two this spring. So it's your chance to join us with these play-on broadcasts for a very inexpensive amount. Want to take a moment now and quickly look at the Colonel's upcoming schedule. Thought we had that there. Maybe not. We don't have that graphic ready. So we will move on to something else. We're going to take another timeout, and then we'll be back with some more from Cass Baseball as we get ready for tonight's game between the Cass Colonels and the Adairsville Tigers. We'll be back right after this.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you.
One shot.
Oh, that's good stuff. All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play On School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
Okay, Coach Williams of the Colonels and Coach Bishop of the Tigers meeting with our umpires for today, as we're just a few minutes away from some baseball here at the Cass High School Athletic Complex in White, Georgia, where the Colonels, in at 4-4 on the year, will be taking on the Adairsville Tigers, who come in with a 4-2 mark on the year. We're going to have some player introductions and the national anthem and all of those things coming up. So before we get to all of that, we want to take another commercial break, and we'll be back with more of our pregame and getting closer to the first pitch. We'll be back right after these.
Con los
Senor!
Attention, everyone. Our first toast.
No. I am so honored to say a few words about the lovely can. Huh? I mean the couple. She looks so delicious. Lean love. Too many more years.
Do we know her?
No. Diet Pepsi. Love every sip.
Around the outfield for your Colonels, in left field, you're going to have number 12, Alex Yoslin. In center field, you're going to have number 6, Brandon Etheridge.
Okay, back at Cass High School's athletic complex, where today the Colonels are being introduced as they run out onto the field. We'll remind you again, the Colonels 4-4 on the year, taking on the Adairsville Tigers, who enter this game with a 4-2 mark on the year. Dylan Williams will be on the mound today for the Colonels, and he is just now making his way out to take his warm-up tosses. So we're going to take one more quick timeout, and we'll be back with baseball right after this.
L is for the way you look at me. O is for the only one I see. V is very, very extraordinary. E is even more than anyone that you adore. And love was made for me and you.
Okay, we're just about set for baseball. The Colonels out on the field. Dylan Williams taking his final warm-up tosses. And we're just about set for some baseball action. Adams, Washington, and Sherwood will lead it off and face Dylan Williams here in the top half of the first. Long throw down from Sam Russell to Sam Ayers. They toss it around the infield. And the left-handed hitting Adams, second baseman for the Tigers, will step in to lead things off. So the first pitch of today's game from Dylan Williams is right through there for a called strike one. Plenty of bright sunshine today, breezy out. Next pitch from Williams is right through there again for a strike. So the senior right-hander ahead quickly 0-2.
Good pitch.
And the next pitch is fouled off at the plate. So another 0-2 offering from Dylan Williams. And it's hit on the ground out to the first base coaching area. Foul. And the count will remain 0-2. Curveball from Williams right through there. Froze the hitter, and that is strike number 3. So quickly one out here in the top of the first as the Tigers bat.
Now batting, center fielder number 6, Tyler Washington.
And that brings up Tyler Washington, the center fielder, to face Williams. Quite breezy today. Temperatures in the upper 50s this afternoon. And that one is a called strike. First pitch missed high, and that one is called a strike. Counts even at 1-1.
Attaboy.
Up and away with that fastball.
Can't hurt you, kid.
Missed again. And it counts at 3-1. Williams with a 1.14 ERA on the year. 26 strikeouts already on the season. That one's a called strike over the inside half of the plate. So a full count now to Tyler Washington, number 6, the center fielder for the Tigers. And that one missed low for a ball 4. So that'll bring up Sherwood, the catcher, with Washington making his way down to first.
Stepping to the plate, catcher number 8, Zach Sherwood.
Zach Sherwood, a senior, looks at the first pitch for a ball. Williams from the stretch. That one's popped straight back over our head, foul. So the count is at 1-1. Tristan Smith, the junior shortstop, waits on deck for the Tigers. Cass Baseball 2013, presented by Pepsi. And Liberty Tax Service also in as one of our sponsors again tonight. Good curveball from Williams. Catches the outside corner, and the count is at 1-2. Williams comes set and throws it right through there. Strike at the knees, fastball, strike 3.
Stepping to the plate for the Tigers.
So 2 strikeouts and 2 outs. And Tristan Smith, the shortstop for the Tigers and cleanup hitter, steps in as Washington takes his lead at first. Chaz Wilson holding him over there. Toss over, but Washington was back easily. Next pitch from Williams is a strike at the knees. That one did miss low, and the count's even at 1-1. We're just underway at the Cass High Athletic Complex, Cass High School in White, Georgia. Colonels and Tigers today in non-region baseball action. First game of a 2-game set between these two. They'll play again on Thursday. That was originally scheduled for a Monday-Wednesday matchup, but because of rain yesterday, they're going to now play here on Tuesday, today, and at Adairsville on Thursday. That one missed low. So the count has now run to 3-1 as Williams comes set once again. Fastball swung on and missed by Smith. And the count is now full.
There it is.
And the next pitch is hit on the ground out towards second. Hunter Southern up easily, tosses on to first base, and Smith is retired. So a ground ball out to Southern over to Wilson for the final out of the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors. One man was left. We've played a half inning, and our score is Adairsville nothing and Cass coming to bat.
That is for 2 adults, 2 children. Those are round.
Okay, we're back at Cass High School. Colonels will be coming to the plate for the first time today here in the bottom half of the first. Adairsville had one base runner on a walk but failed to score in their half of the first, and the Colonels will send Brandon Etheridge, Sam Ayers, and Chaz Wilson to face senior pitcher Dylan Cochran of the Tigers here in the bottom half of the first. There's his final warm-up toss. The throw down to second by Zach Sherwood. And Brandon Etheridge, the left-handed hitting junior center fielder, will step to the plate. Thanks for joining us today for Cass Baseball on Play on Sports, presented by Pepsi. So Etheridge steps in there, hitting .440 on the young season, and looks at the first pitch right through there for a strike. Right at the knees. Cochran again delivers, and Etheridge returns the favor, drills it right back up the middle for a hit. So a line drive single off the bat of Brandon Etheridge gives the Colonels their first base runner of the game, and will bring up the shortstop, Sam Ayers. Ayers comes in hitting .348 on the year with 7 RBI. Etheridge takes his lead down at first. And the first pitch to Ayers is a curveball in there for a strike. Caught him about letter high. Etheridge off and running on the pitch. He's going to make it to second. Now they've got him hung up. And we'll see if he can stay in the rundown. Now he's going to make it back as they mishandled the rundown situation. So Etheridge is going to get away with that. And Ayers will reach safely on the fielder's choice. Ground ball. But there was an error on the play, allowing Etheridge to get back. And that'll bring up Chaz Wilson, the first baseman today. Wilson was the winning pitcher on Friday night, playing first base in this one. First pitch from Cochran is high for a ball. Wilson off to a fast start. He's hitting .640 on the young season with 13 RBI. Runners at first and second now, and nobody out for the Colonels here as they bat in the bottom of the first. Next pitch to Wilson. He squared as though to bunt, but it missed low, and he took it for a ball. Wilson does have a sacrifice bunt on the year already. So we'll see how Coach Adam Williams chooses to play it here with a 2-0 count. And the pitch from Cochran missed high for ball 3. So Wilson steps back in there to face a 3-0 offering from senior Adairsville pitcher Dylan Cochran. And it's a fastball that Wilson took right at the belt for a called strike. So Etheridge takes his lead down at second. He was hung up in that on that last play, but got back safely when the Tigers mishandled the rundown. And Sam Ayers is at first. Dylan Williams is on deck. Pitch to Wilson, missed low. No, it didn't. They call it a strike. So the count is now full, as apparently that one caught him at the knees. So a full count now. And the curveball strikes out Chaz Wilson. So a big out there for Cochran as he strikes out Wilson. And there's one away here in the bottom of the first, and that brings up the pitcher and cleanup hitter, Dylan Williams. First pitch to Williams is another curveball, fouled off at the plate. And that one is retrieved, and Williams will step back in there to see an 0-1 pitch. Cochran comes set, throws another curveball, a little swinging bunt out toward third, and it's going to roll foul and be picked up there for strike number 2. So we'll reset everyone. Etheridge will have to make his way back to second, Ayers back to first, and Dylan Williams will make his way back to the plate, and he's down in the count 0-2. Williams hitting .294 on the year so far. He has 5 RBI. And he steps in here to see an 0-2 pitch from Dylan Cochran, who is working from the stretch. And Williams hit it right to third. Third baseman fields it, steps on the back, throws across, but wide at the base. Now Ayers aggressively makes it to third base, and they threw it away. And Ayers will come in to score. So the ground ball is put in play, and they retire Etheridge on the force play over at third. But then as Ayers advanced on the play, there was a throwing error by the first baseman McCrory that allowed Ayers to score, and Williams made it up to second base. Now Sam Russell will step in for the Colonels. And the first pitch he sees is fouled off. He hits a ground ball out toward third again. Third baseman over there fields and throws across, and that will retire the Colonels here in the bottom of the first. But they did score a run, and we've now played one inning, and the Colonels are leading the Adairsville Tigers by a score of 1-0.
Con los terroristas.
And do the Harlem Shake.
Okay, the Colonels making their way back out onto the field. They lead it here by a score of 1-0, scoring that run on a hit, and Adairsville helped them with an error in the inning. And we're going to have to do some work here. If you can bear with us during this inning or so, our software on our scoring system crashed on us during that half inning, so we'll try to get everything corrected. So there may be some lulls here as we try to keep you up to date with the action, but try to get everything loaded into the system as well. Dylan Williams out there taking his final warm-up tosses. And I'll try to get our lineup loaded back in there. And we'll have to pick up Adairsville's lineup as they come back to the plate. So this is going to be Cochran.
Now batting for the Tigers, pitcher number 32, Dylan Cochran.
And the first pitch is in there for a strike. Next one is fouled away. And again, we ask you to please bear with us here for a few minutes. We're trying to get some things corrected. And the count now has gone to 1-2. This is the pitcher, Dylan Cochran, stepping in there to face Dylan Williams, and the pitch misses down low. So the count to Cochran is now at 2-2. And the next one is hit in the air out towards center field, but Etheridge is there for that one. And a fly ball out for one away.
Now batting for the Tigers, number 13, Cody Melton.
Cody Melton now will step in for the Tigers. And the first pitch from Williams missed low for a ball. Melton wearing number 13. And swings on and misses. Next pitch misses inside for a ball, and the count has gone to 2-1. Cass leading at 1-0. Adairsville batting in the top of the second. Counts 3-1. I apologize. Now 3-2. And they say that one missed low for a ball, so Melton makes his way down to first. That brings up Hunter Smith. And he hits it in the air out there to short. Sam Ayers fields it, throws across to Chaz Wilson, but not in time as Melton made it back in there.
Now batting number 12, your first baseman for the Tigers, Casey McCrory.
And that brings up McCrory, the first baseman. So the first pitch from Dylan Williams is in there for a strike, and there's a curveball that is strike number 2. Next one misses inside for a ball. So a 1-2 pitch coming from Dylan Williams with 2 outs and a runner at first, and that is called strike 3 to McCrory. So McCrory strikes out. That will end the Tiger half of the second inning. We've now played an inning and a half, and the score is Cass 1, Adairsville nothing. Okay, we're back at Cass High School, and again, we apologize. Our software that keeps our scoring for us during the games crashed in the first inning, and we have lost what we had started there. So a lot of the good insights and statistical items that we've been able to give you in the earlier broadcast, we're not going to be able to do tonight. I'm going to have to try to paper and pencil the rest of this one and try to patch back in what we had. As Alex Yoslin will step to the plate for the Colonels here in the bottom of the second. Cass leading it 1-0. Cass has 1 hit, and the Tigers have made a couple of errors. Tigers still have not had their first hit of the game. Dylan Cochran on the mound for the Tigers. Winds and delivers the first pitch to Yoslin for a strike. So we'll do the best we can here to try to patch things in and keep you posted on what's going on here. And we'll try to repair the scoring later. Back up through the middle, split the wicket on the pitcher, and that's going to be an infield hit. So a hard ground ball hit back up the middle by Alex Yoslin, and he reaches safely with an infield hit as the Colonels bat here in the bottom of the second. So that brings up Hunter Southern, hitting in the 7th spot tonight. Takes a curveball for a strike. Throw over to first, try to keep the runner close over there. Yoslin back safely. And the next pitch to Southern, missed down and away for a ball. So the count runs to 1-1 to the Cass second baseman. Noah Sims, playing third today, waits on deck. Runner takes off on the pitch. It's a curveball, and Yoslin's going to slide in there safely head first with a stolen base. So a 1-2 pitch coming up to Southern is a curveball that just missed inside. Southern takes the next pitch low for a ball. Again, we ask you to please bear with us. We're still trying to catch up some of the scoring from the first couple of innings. And that one misses for ball 4. So Hunter Southern works for a walk. Yoslin had already stolen second, so he stands down at second. And nobody out in the inning, and Noah Sims stepping to the plate.
Now batting number 13, your third baseman, Noah Sims.
So Sims steps in there with runners at first and second. 2 innings in a row now, the Colonels have had at least 2 base runners with no one out. He squares to bunt and missed it for strike number 1. So Sims steps back in, squares again, curveball is high. He takes it for a ball. So a 1-1 pitch with runners leading from first and second, coming up to Noah Sims. Cochran's pitch is bunted foul at the plate. So we'll have a 1-2 pitch coming up to the Cass third baseman. Cass baseball presented by Pepsi. The Colonels leading as they bat in the bottom of the second. Score is 1-0. They scored that run in the bottom of the first. Bunting again, but with 2 strikes fouls it away, and that will be a strikeout for the first out of the inning. And we'll bring up the Cass right fielder, Chris Morton. Morton in at 227 with a batting average and has scored 6 runs on the year. He bats with 1 out and runners at first and second, facing Adairsville's senior pitcher, Dylan Cochran. First curveball missed high. Next pitch again, misses high, and the count is at 2-0. Colonels and Tigers will play again on Thursday up in Adairsville. 2-0 pitches, low and away. So with leadoff hitter Brandon Etheridge waiting on deck, the count to Chris Morton has gone to 3-0. And the 3-0 pitch sails high. Second walk of the inning. And the bases are now loaded for the leadoff hitter and center fielder, Brandon Etheridge.
Now batting number 6, your center fielder, Brandon Etheridge.
So Cass leading it 1-0. Batting here in the bottom of the second, and a chance here to open up a lead. As their leadoff hitter steps in. He singled last time, takes a ball up and away. Cochran working from the stretch. Throws a curveball that bounced up there, and the count's at 2-0. So the Colonels threaten here. 1 out in the bottom of the second with the bases loaded. And Etheridge popped it up. It's over in foul territory. A lot of foul ground here at Cass, and that one is fielded over there by the Adairsville third baseman. And again, we apologize. We'll have to get lineups and patch that back in as we can. We gave away our lineup card back to the coaching staff after we filled it in on our software. And it is in the dugout now, and we don't have access to that. So we're a long way from the dugout. So the pop out to third brings up Sam Ayers with 2 outs, and the base is still loaded. Ayers walked his first time and later scored on an error as the Tigers mishandled first a rundown and then later tried to pick him off moving up to third on a fielder's choice and threw the ball away. Ayers fouls that pitch away for strike number 1. So a big 2-out situation here for both teams, for Cochran the pitcher and for Ayers, the Colonel's hitter. He fouls that one straight back against the screen. So the senior Tigers pitcher, Cochran, ahead here, 0-2. And now the catcher, Sherwood, will make his way out to speak with his senior pitcher. And as he settles back in behind the plate, Ayers will step back in for an 0-2 pitch. And it's fouled away over the Colonel's dugout. So now Coach Adam Williams makes his way down from third base while Coach Eric Bishop of the Tigers speaks with his senior pitcher, Dylan Cochran. So an 0-2 count to Sam Ayers, 2 outs in the inning, bases loaded with Colonels. Cass leading it 1-0 as they bat in their half of the second inning. Cass Baseball presented by Pepsi on Play on Sports today. Ayers now steps back in, and he'll see an 0-2 pitch from Cochran. And it missed down and away. So we'll do it again, 1-2 now. Runners take their lead. And Cochran missed low. So the count's even at 2-2. Cochran winds and delivers the 2-2 pitch, and it's hit on the ground over the right side. Smothered by the second baseman, but he can't field it, and 2 runs are going to score. And as the ball gets away from Sherwood back here at home plate, runners will move up to second and third. So the infield single by Ayers will plate 2 runs, driving in Yoslin from third and Southern from second. And then as they throw home, Morton's able to move up to third and Ayers to second. So the Colonels now with runners at second and third and 2 outs as Chaz Wilson will step in. He struck out his first time. That curveball missed high. Colonels have taken a 3-0 lead on only 2 hits, 4 walks. Next pitch is drilled by Wilson into the right center field gap. That's going to go to the wall. All the way to the wall, bounces off the wall. 2 runs will score. Wilson will stand up at second base with a double. So Chaz Wilson continues his hot hitting with 2 more RBI, and the Colonels have broken on top here by a score of 5-1 with 4 runs already here in the second. And that'll bring up the pitcher, Dylan Williams, who's hitting in the cleanup spot.
Hey, where's the D. Willie?
So a brief timeout while Wilson returns his hitting gloves to Cass first base coach Gaddy. And now we're ready to go again as Dylan Williams steps in to face his pitching counterpart, Dylan Cochran. First pitch bounces up there off the shin guard of the catcher, and Wilson moved up quickly. So we'll score a wild pitch as Wilson advances to third. The pitch did bounce up there. Sherwood blocked it, but it bounced away from him. And Wilson was easy to move over to third. Next pitch is a curveball called a strike. Williams steps back in and saw a curveball that he missed. Pretty good pitch there by Cochran. So a 1-2 offering to the Cass senior. There's another curveball that missed high, evening the count at 2-2. Colonels batting in their half of the second. They've scored 4 runs this inning on a couple of 3 hits and 2 walks. They lead it 5-0. Williams swings, misses. And on the strikeout, the ball got away from the catcher. Wilson tried to score and was tagged out at the plate. So on the putout, catcher unassisted as he recovered the dropped third strike on the strikeout of Williams, and that will retire the Colonels in their half of the second inning. So we'll move to the top of the third with Cass now leading Adairsville by a score of 5-0.
Senor.
Attention everyone, our first toast.
No. I am so honored to say a few words about the lovely can. Huh? I mean the couple. She looks so delicious. Lean love. Too many more years.
Do we know her?
No.
Diet Pepsi. Love every sip.
This is a 2 though. Okay, back at the Cass High School Athletic Complex. Dylan Williams taking his final warm-up tosses as we'll move to the top half of the third inning. A strange play there to end the second inning. Dylan Williams struck out on the play, and then the ball had gotten away from the catcher. Everybody was kind of looking around. Williams started toward first, and Wilson broke toward home. The catcher, Sherwood, realized what was going on, dives, and on a close play at the plate, tags out Wilson for the third out. So that brings up number 11, Blaine Bishop, hitting in the 9 spot for the Tigers, as we are still trying to patch in our lineup here. So there are 2 strikes quickly on the Adairsville left fielder, I believe, is where he is playing. Adairsville batting in the top of the third. Cass leading it by a score of 5-0. So Bishop steps back in there, and Williams' pitch missed low. Cass Sr. working from the windup. Throws a fastball that's fouled back against the screen. So the count will remain 1-2. And there, they're going to ask if he swung. They say yes, he did. They throw down to first, where Russell will toss it to Wilson. He steps on the bag, and that will retire Blaine Bishop.
Now batting for the Tigers, number 1, Kyle Adams.
So 1 out here in the third inning, and Kyle Adams is the hitter for the Tigers, the leadoff hitter. Senior wearing number 1, left-handed hitter. First pitch was a ball. The next one is popped up in the air on a bunt over the head of the Cass third baseman Noah Sims for an infield hit.
Now batting for the Tigers,
So he literally bunted it over the head of the charging third baseman for Adairsville's first hit of the game. Brings up number 6, that's Tyler Washington. He's the center fielder. And he takes the first pitch for a ball. And on the 1-0 pitch, Dylan Williams threw a fastball right by him. Runners on the move, and Washington bunted it foul. And now we've got a timeout as Coach Eric Bishop steps out to speak with the home plate umpire. Not sure what that one's about. But now the home plate umpire is going to go out and have a conversation with his partner out in the infield. So again, we apologize. In the bottom half of the first inning, our computer software that we score the games for you on the iPad, the software crashed on us. So we're having to patch in with a paper and pencil scoring system. And because I don't have the lineup cards with me, we filled in our lineup, then handed the lineup cards back off to the coaches, and because of that situation, we don't have lineups, so we're trying to patch that in as we go here. Okay, whatever that question was about, it has been resolved, and on the next pitch, a curveball from Williams strikes out Tyler Washington.
Now batting for the Tigers, number 8, Zach Sherwood.
So Zach Sherwood will step in, the catcher for the Tigers today. 2 outs in the inning now as Dylan Williams continues to work from the stretch. First pitch is hit up in the air out toward right field. Chris Morton is out there, battles the sun a bit, but then makes the catch for the 3rd out of the inning. So the Tigers are retired in their half of the 3rd. We've played 2.5 innings from the Cass High Athletic Complex. Our score, Cass 5, Adairsville nothing. Okay, back at the Cass High School Athletic Complex, the Colonels getting ready to take their swings in the bottom half of the 3rd inning. They lead it here by a score of 5-0. Coming up with 4 runs there in their half of the 2nd inning. Dylan Williams is off to a good start for the Colonels, I believe, with at least 5 or 6 strikeouts. And now I'm being told 4 strikeouts. So maybe I jumped ahead just a little bit there. But again, like I said, we're trying to patch in our score sheet here. Cochran taking his final warm-up tosses. Sherwood fires down to second. Coach Adam Williams will make his way across to the third base coaching box. And the Colonels catcher Sam Russell will step to the plate.
Now batting for your Colonels, number 9, your catcher Sam Russell.
So Russell steps in, his second at bat of the night, facing Dylan Cochran. The first pitch is fouled off at the plate. Cass with 5 runs on 4 hits. Adairsville yet to score. They do have 1 hit. It was that infield bunt, hard bunt, over the head of the charging third baseman. Curveball from Cochran is right through there for a strike, so Russell finds himself in an 0-2 hole. And a curveball is hit on the ground out towards short. Bobbled, now picked up, throws across, but not in time, and Sam Russell will reach on an infield error by the shortstop. And that'll be, we believe, the 3rd error of the inning, of the game. And that will bring up Alex Yoslin, who singled his last time, right back through the middle, through the legs of the pitcher. A sharp ground ball that got right back through the box. So the Colonels have a courtesy runner down there for their catcher. It is Matt Kelly. So Kelly takes his lead, and Yoslin takes a curveball that bounced in the dirt. So Sam Russell, the catcher, reaches on an error. They've inserted Matt Kelly as a courtesy runner for the catcher down at first. He takes his lead. Nobody out here as the Colonels bat in their half of the third. And Yoslin with another hit right back up the middle. Kelly round second. He's going to try for third, and he's going to make it as the throw is high to third. So Yoslin with a single to center field. Russell moves up to, Kelly moves up to third, running for Russell, and Yoslin makes it to second on the throw. And that brings up the second baseman, Hunter Southern. He walked his last time. Sherwood out to talk to his pitcher, Dylan Cochran. And we're just about set for the first pitch upcoming to Hunter Southern. Runners now for the Colonels at second and third. Still nobody out in the inning. First pitch missed low for a ball. Looked like a fastball. So the Colonels looking to extend their lead. They already lead it 5-0 with a run in the first and 4 in the second. Next pitch by Cochran is hit on the ground, back to the pitcher, and they've got the runners held up. Kelly is going to make it back to third as, again, the Tigers mishandled the rundown situation. So Hunter Southern will reach on a fielder's choice. And all runners are safe. So it looked like Kelly was hung out to dry between third and home, but instead it ends up being a good play for the Colonels as he makes it back safely at third, and that allows Hunter Southern to reach on the fielder's choice. Noah Sims, the third baseman, now steps in with the bases loaded. Still nobody out. First pitch missed high for a ball. Sims did strike out his last time up. Next pitch is low in the dirt. Another fastball. And it's a 2-0 count. So the 2-0 pitch now upcoming to the cast third baseman. And he hits it on the ground, foul down the third base side. That'll make the count now 2-1. Bases loaded, nobody out. Colonels batting in their half of the third inning. They lead it 5-0 against the visiting Adairsville Tigers. Curveball sailed high, and the count goes to 3-1. Cast right fielder Chris Morton waits on deck. Then it'll be the top of the order. Time called at the plate by Sims. So he backs out, then steps back in, and we're ready now for the 3-1 delivery. And it's a fastball hit on the ground. First baseman backhands it, throws wild to the plate. That allows Kelly to score, and he's followed by Yoslin, so another Adairsville error will lead to 2 cast runs. So Sims reaches on the throwing error. Kelly scores from third. Yoslin scores all the way from second. Hunter Southern will move up to third, and the batter Sims will end up at second on that error. So that's now 4 errors on the Tigers. Chris Morton steps in and takes the first pitch high for a ball. So the Tigers have added to their own demise in these first 3 innings. The next pitch misses low, and the count is quickly 2-0 to the sophomore right fielder, Chris Morton. Hitting in the 9th spot, Brandon Etheridge, the leadoff hitter, waits on deck. And there's a fastball strike right at the belt. So the Colonels have taken a 7-0 lead here as they continue to bat in their half of the 3rd. Ball hit sharply on the ground out to short, fielded there, throw across to first. Nice pickup there by the first baseman to scoop up the out, but a run will score on the ground out. So Southern comes across the plate for the 8th run for the Colonels. Sims does move up to 3rd on the play. Morton is retired for the first out of the inning, and the top of the order and Brandon Etheridge will step to the plate. With just 1 out in the inning. They're showing 2 outs on the scoreboard, but there's only 1 out. So I had my head down scoring. I'm not sure what this delay is about. I guess we were getting some baseballs, looks like. Now Etheridge will step in to face Dylan Cochran. A runner now at 3rd. That's Noah Sims taking his lead. Etheridge takes a curveball that missed high. Etheridge singled in the 1st. He popped out to 3rd in the 2nd. So he's batted in every inning so far. Fastball fouled off at the plate. So the count is even at 1-1 to the Colonels center fielder. Sam Ayers waits on deck. He would be followed by Chaz Wilson. Curveball bounces up there. Sherwood did a good job blocking that one up. Saved a run there as Noah Sims continues to take his lead down at 3rd. Cochran winds and delivers, and Etheridge fouls it over the batting cages down beyond the Adairsville dugout. So the count runs even at 2-2. Etheridge steps back in, and Dylan Cochran will wind and threw a curveball that missed high. Full count now. Delivery to Brandon Etheridge, and he fouled it off at the plate. So now they'll need more baseball. Sam Ayers delivers the foul ball that went back to the backstop. And they bring in some more baseballs from the dugout. And now Etheridge will step back in again to face a 3-2 pitch from Adairsville's senior pitcher, Dylan Cochran. Fastball hit on the ground out to the first base coach. Coach Gaddy fields that one. And we'll try once again. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Hit on the ground hard, back up the middle. knocked down by the second baseman. He throws across in time, they say, for the out. So they're going to call that an out at first, but a run did score.
Bam, bam.
So give Etheridge an RBI on the ground out. And the Colonels now lead it 9-0. And Sam Ayers will step in now with the bases cleared. Two outs now in the inning, and the curveball missed high. So Coach Eric Bishop staying with his senior pitcher as the Colonels bat here in the third, leading it 9-0. Curveball had Ayers way out in front.
Hey, just stop swinging it.
And evens the count at 1-1. Nice crowd on hand here today. Although the temperatures are a little cool as we sit in the shade, it is a sunny day, but breezy. Next pitch is in there for a strike. So a 1-2 pitch to Sam Ayers, and he hits it off his fist, but out into center field for a line drive single, little bloop single over the second baseman's head. And Ayers is now 2 for 2. And that will bring up the Cass first baseman, Chaz Wilson.
Now batting number 11, Chaz Wilson.
Jordan, widen out just a little bit. Just a little bit.
So Chaz Wilson will step in with Ayers down at first and 2 outs in the inning. Wilson hits a ground ball back up the middle, and he will be retired 4-3 on the putout, and that will retire the Colonels in their half of the third. But they do score 4 runs. They had 2 hits in the inning, and they'll leave a runner. So we've played 3 innings, and Cass leads Adairsville 9-0.
L is for the way you look at me. O is for the only one I see. V is very, very extraordinary. E is even more than anyone that you adore. And love was made for me and you.
Okay, Charles Wilson back at the Cass High Athletic Complex along with our cameraman Jordan Burge, as the Colonels have taken a 9-0 lead here through 3 innings for their senior pitcher, Dylan Williams. Sam Russell makes the long throw down to second base. The Colonels tossed it around the infield. And now Adairsville will bat here in their top half of the 4th inning. Tristan Smith, the shortstop, will step in. First pitch from Williams is a fastball strike. And the next one is right through there as well. So the Colonels, with a run in the first, 4 in the second, and 4 more in the third, lead it here 9-0 as Adairsville bats in the top of the 4th. Junior shortstop Tristan Smith stands in there for the Tigers as the fastball from Dylan Williams is fouled back toward the press box. Williams winds and delivers. Ground ball hit out to Sam Ayers at short. He comes up with it, fell to his knees as he threw high. Chaz Wilson fielded it and then made the tag down at first. So Ayers lost his feet there as he fielded the ground ball, but successfully retires Smith for out number 1 here in the 4th inning. And that will bring up the pitcher, Dylan Cochran. And the first pitch from Williams, missed low for a ball. The next one is fouled back, and the count is now even at 1-1. Fastball high. So a 2-1 pitch upcoming to Dylan Cochran, who fouls the next one off over toward the Adairsville dugout. And we'll see a 2-2 pitch. Miss low for a ball. The count has gone full. 1 out here in the inning. Adairsville pitcher Dylan Cochran facing Colonel's pitcher Dylan Williams. And he hits a line drive out toward left field. Alex Yoslin is there. And there are 2 away.
Now batting for the Tigers, number 13, Cody Melton.
So that brings up Cody Melton. With 2 outs in the inning. Melton, also a junior, swings and misses at the first pitch. And that one missed high for a ball. Next one is right through there for strike number 2. So a 1-2 pitch upcoming. And Williams throws a fastball about knee high and is fouled down the right field line. So the count will remain 1-2. So we'll reset that. And Melton will return. Dylan Williams steps back, toes the rubber, looks in, takes his sign, and begins his windup, but we have a timeout called. And it looks like Coach Eric Bishop wants to talk with his hitter. So time was called there before that pitch. And Melton is now returning to the plate after a chat with his head coach, Eric Bishop. Here's the pitch from Williams, a curveball that missed high. So the count goes even at 2-2. And there's a fastball that just missed low. So a full count upcoming with 2 outs to Cody Melton of the Tigers. The 3-2 pitch is fouled straight back over the screen. So we'll have to try that one again. The crowd oohs and ahs a little bit. It sounded like it hit a vehicle back there. And there's a fastball swung on and missed by Melton for strike number 3. So the Tigers are retired here in their half of the 4th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, none left. We've played 3.5 innings from Cass High School, and the Colonels lead the Adairsville Tigers 9-0. Okay, new pitcher for Adairsville. Colonel's leading it 9-0 as they will come to the plate here in the bottom half of the fourth. The new pitcher for Adairsville will be Tristan Smith, who was at shortstop. I'm getting the other changes here. 14 is also in the game for number 11, so that's Dakota Hines, who has entered for Blaine Bishop. So we'll see him probably next inning at the plate. The Colonels will send Dylan Williams, Sam Russell, and Alex Yoslin to the plate here in their half of the fourth inning to face the new pitcher, Tristan Smith. So Williams steps in there and takes a fastball from Smith high for a ball. And Williams just hit a rope out into right field that's in there for a hit. So a line drive single by Dylan Williams. And we'll get a courtesy runner. Caleb Black will step in there to run for the Colonel pitcher. And the cast catcher, Sam Russell, will step to the plate. Reached on an error and later scored, or at least his courtesy runner scored. Kelly, his last time up. Cast catcher steps back in there. And swings and misses at a curveball from Tristan Smith for strike number one. Now they throw over to first to try to keep Black close over there. Ball briefly got away from Casey McCrory, who's manning first base for the Tigers, but not far enough for Black to advance. And Caleb Black takes his lead. Smith comes set and throws a fastball up there that bounced. Now they've got Caleb Black hung up. He thought the ball had gotten further away from the catcher, and he is going to be picked off 2-6-3 to retire the Colonel's runner. So now there's one out as Russell steps back in. And he looks at a changeup that missed inside for a ball. Next one is hit on the ground out toward third, fielded over there. Long throw across, and the tag is applied. So there's two outs in the inning as Russell is retired 5-3 on the putout. Brings up Alex Yoslin, who is 2 for 2 in the game with a couple of hits, both back up through the middle, and he scored a couple of runs. First pitch from Tristan Smith was a curveball that sailed high. And the cast left fielder will step back in there. Next pitch is high for a ball as well, and it's 2-0. 2 outs in the inning. Alex Yoslin, the left fielder, steps in there. And the next pitch misses low for a ball. So a 3-0 pitch upcoming to Yoslin. And he fouls it straight back off the mitt. So the count will go to 3-1. Smith winds and delivers, and his curveball missed high for ball number 4. So that will bring up the Cass second baseman, Hunter Southern, with 1 on now and 2 outs in the inning. First pitch to Southern's fouled back on the screen for strike number 1. Toss over to first to keep Yoslin close. He's back in safely, and now will take his lead again. And the pitch from Smith is fouled off at the plate. So the Colonels bat with 2 outs here in their half of the 4th inning. They've scored in every inning so far and in danger of being shut out in this frame, unless they can come up with some 2-out magic here. Curveball bounced up there. Blocked up by Sherwood again. So now Southern will see a 1-2 pitch from the Adairsville junior pitcher, Tristan Smith. He steps back off the rubber. Yoslin takes his lead down at first. Smith comes set. And it's another curveball that bounced in the dirt. And the count goes to 2-2. Noah Sims waits on deck. He would be followed by Chris Morton. Yoslin with a pretty good lead down there. And it's a fastball that sails high, and the count goes full. So a 3-2 pitch will be due to the Cass second baseman, Hunter Southern, as soon as they exchange baseballs. Apparently Smith didn't like the seams on that one. And they switch it out, and now he'll toe the rubber, take a look in for his sign, and work from the stretch. Now he throws over to first. Yoslin dives back in. So a 3-2 pitch now to Hunter Southern. Another curveball that missed high for ball 4. So Southern works his second walk of the contest. He had also walked back in the second. Yoslin will move up to second base on the walk, and Noah Sims will step in with a couple of base runners and 2 outs. Sims struck out in the second. He reached on a throwing error by the first baseman in the third. Later scored a run. Fastball is up and away for a ball. Chris Morton waits on deck for the Colonels, and then we would be back to the top of the order. Sims fouls a fastball back against the screen. To even the count at 1-1. (9-0), Cass on top They bat in their half of the fourth. Next pitch missed inside, and now Sherwood, who may have been crossed up, goes out to talk to his pitcher. Our next broadcast will be Thursday, a 5:20 pregame start for a 5:30 first pitch from Adairsville, as these two teams will play the second game of this two-game series this week at the Tigers' home field in Adairsville. There's a fastball at the knees for a strike. So Noah Sims now will step back in there and face a 2-2 pitch from Tristan Smith, who is working from the stretch and bounced a curveball up there, and the count goes full. Cass Baseball presented by Pepsi. We're glad you could join us this evening from the Cass High School Athletic Complex on the campus of Cass High School. Full count pitch to Sims. Runners are moving. Sims hits it on the ground out toward third. Fielded out there. Long throw across. And there will be out number 3. So we've played 4 full innings now from Cass High School. And the Colonels lead the Adairsville Tigers 9-0.
Come on, kid. I'm Drew Brees.
And I'm Harry.
Who?
From One Direction. Platinum album.
Dudes, won the Super Bowl.
On the cover.
MVP.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
If you give him the Pepsi, you can be in the band.
Really? And live while we're young.
Okay, we'll see a new pitcher for the Colonels. Noah Sims will come in there to relieve Dylan Williams as the Colonels have taken a 9-0 lead. So Sims takes over the pitching duties here as we move to the top of the 5th. We'll try to get you the other defensive changes as we go along. It looks like Southern has moved over to play third. And my guess would be Caleb Black is in there at second base. It looks like that is the case. So Noah Sims taking his last few warm-up tosses here. He is 1-1 on the year. He's given up 6 runs, 5 of them earned, walked 2, struck out 8 with an ERA of 3.89 as he enters this contest, making his 3rd appearance of the year. The first batter is Hunter Smith. So the first pitch was a ball. The second one's fouled off at the plate, and the count is 1-1. For Hunter Smith facing Noah Sims. Fastball is low. Cass with a run in the first, 4 in the second and the third. They lead at 9-0 as Adairsville now bats in the top of the 5th. Noah Sims on in relief of Dylan Williams, who started this one. And he throws a fastball strike at the knees. So a 2-2 pitch from Noah Sims, missed inside, and the count goes full. The Cass junior right-hander winds and delivers, and Hunter Smith swung at a changeup and missed it for strike number 3. So that brings up Casey McCrory, the first baseman. And there is strike number 1. Next one is hit on the ground out toward third, but they're going to say it fouled off the foot of McCrory. And Noah Sims has worked the count now to his advantage, 0-2. McCrory walks that one off just a little bit before he steps back in to face Sims' 0-2 delivery. That one sailed high. So now a 1-2 pitch coming up from Noah Sims. And it missed low for ball 2. Cass and Adairsville from the Cass High School Athletic Complex on the campus of Cass High School. The Colonels leading it 9-0 in the top of the 5th. Changeup missed low, and the count is full now with 1 out in the inning. And Sims throws a fastball at the knees that was swung on and missed by McCrory. And that's 2 quick strikeouts here in the inning for the junior right-hander. That brings up Dakota Hines, who entered the game defensively last inning. A ball and a strike now to Dakota Hines. That one's low and away. Kyle Adams waits on deck. He's the leadoff hitter for the Tigers. As Sims throws a fastball that's fouled straight back against the screen. And the count has gone to 2-2. Sims 2-2 delivery, missed low. So a full count now with 2 outs in the inning. Dakota Hines with his first at bat of the evening. And he hits a little pop-up out behind second base out toward right field, and it's caught by Chris Morton on a nice diving catch for out number 3. So the Tigers are retired on a couple of strikeouts and a pop out to right field. And we've now played 4.5 innings with the Colonels leading the Adairsville Tigers 9-0.
Con los terroristas.
Okay, back at the Cass High School Athletic Complex, the Colonels with 9 runs on 7 hits, no errors. Tigers have yet to score. They have 1 hit, a bunt single, actually a bunt that was sailed over the head of Noah Sims, playing third base at the time. As he was charging, the bunt just kind of was barreled over his head. Tigers have made 4 errors in this one. But Cass leads at 9-0 as they come to the plate here in the bottom half of the 5th. First hitter for the Colonels will be Chris Morton. He will be followed by the top of the order, Brandon Etheridge and Sam Ayers. So Chris Morton steps in. He's walked and grounded out. He has an RBI and has scored a run in this one. First pitch bounces up there for a ball. Very breezy and cool evening, but with daylight savings time, we still have sunshine out beyond the outfield. That one's in there for a strike. Morton made a nice play out there in right field to retire the Tigers in their half of the 5th inning. And now he has a 2-1 count as he faces Tristan Smith, who's working his 2nd inning. Morton fouls the next one straight back over the screen. So as we reset here, Morton will step in to face a 2-2 pitch. It bounced up there, and the count goes full. The Colonels are 1 run away from ending this one early. If they could plate a run here, the Georgia High School Association mercy rule would come into effect. But Morton swings and misses for strike number 3, and there's 1 out as the Colonels will now send their junior center fielder, Brandon Etheridge, to the plate. Etheridge has a hit and an RBI in this one. And the first pitch to Brandon Etheridge bounced up there for a ball. Next one spins Etheridge around about waist high, but well inside, and the count goes to 2-0. Curveball right in there for a strike. So a 2-1 pitch upcoming to the Cass left-handed hitter, and it's a curveball that was well high. And the count goes to 3-1. So a 3-1 pitch to Brandon Etheridge. He hits a ground ball past first, foul over there. That will even the count, or rather, the count will go full at 3-2. As Etheridge will step back in. 1 out in the inning. And it's a curveball that missed outside for ball 4. So Etheridge will walk. And that will bring the shortstop, Sam Ayers, to the plate. He has 2 hits and a walk in this one. and 2 RBI. So Etheridge will take his lead down at first. Sam Ayers steps in to face Tristan Smith. They throw over to first. Etheridge dives back in safely. And the next one bounced up there. Etheridge is going to try it, and he's going to make it easily. And now will advance to third on the throwing error by the catcher. And then the ball gets away at third, but not far enough. So Etheridge will hold at third. So he advances to second on the wild pitch and then to third on the error by the catcher. And I think that's the 5th error now on the Tigers. So the game-ending run now stands at third base with 2 outs in the inning. I'm sorry, only 1 out in the inning. I'm reading the scoreboard. We only have 1 out. I'm not sure who's on that scoreboard up there, but they're a little anxious. They've cleared out the count as well. Pitch to Ayers is foul-tipped into the glove of Sherwood. And the count is 1-1. So a hit here could end it. And Ayers hits it off the glove of the first baseman. He's going to field it off the heel of his glove. It went over to the second baseman, and they're unable to retire him. So Etheridge scores from third, and that is going to be our final, as the Colonels are going to win it on a mercy rule by a final score of 10-0. So Cass with a 10-0 win here, their 8th hit of the contest. And on a mercy rule, GHSA mercy rule, the Colonels will win it by a final score of 10-0. We'll be back to wrap things up here right after this timeout.
Senor!
Attention, everyone. Our first toast.
No. I am so honored to say a few words about the lovely can. Huh? I mean the couple. She looks so delicious. Lean love. Too many more years.
Do we know her?
No.
Diet Pepsi. Love every sip.
Okay, Charles Wilson back at the Cass High School Athletic Complex, where the Colonels have won this one tonight in quick fashion by a final score of 10-0. We're trying to wrap some things up here, so please bear with us for just a moment. Cass with 10 runs, 8 hits. They did not commit an error. The Adairsville Tigers, no runs. They had 1 hit. They committed 5 errors in the contest. They really helped the Colonels several different times with some throwing mistakes. And the Colonels took advantage of that and come away tonight with a 10-0 victory over the Tigers, and improved their season mark to 5-4 on the year. Adairsville falls to 4-3 on the season, and these two teams will hook up again on Thursday evening up in Adairsville. We hope you'll join us for that one. Our pregame will be at 5:20, and first pitch is scheduled for 5:30 as the Colonels will take on the Tigers in Game 2 of this two-game series this week up in Adairsville. Again, we want to thank you for joining us on Play on Sports this evening. Cass coming away this evening with a 10-0 victory. We'll see you again on Thursday